Hey everybody, welcome back to the Horror World. So it's currently 20 to 12 at night and wide awake. Now I take sleeping tablets and it currently hasn't kicked in, so we're just gonna have a random chit chat for a bit. Just to see what comes out. Hopefully. Might be interesting. You never know. But yeah, so I've as you've previously seen in a different video, I told you about my writing projects I'm currently up to. Now, hopefully, I'll hear some news eventually along the line, but of course I'll keep you up to date with that. But today I just wanted to have a chat about paranormal stuff, paranormal, supernatural, things that cannot be explained in this world, but everybody has, well, not everybody, most people would probably say they've either seen or think they've seen a ghost or something in the corner of peripheral vision. That's the thing a lot of people don't see, a peripheral vision of something. So I just want to tell you about a couple of things that I've personally experienced, and one of them is in this place, exactly where I am, where I live. So in the place where I live, there used to be an old man. That's all I know about him. I only know he's an old man and he used to smoke cigars. That's all I knew about him. I found out that he did die in this place where I live. And one night, it's actually a couple of nights to be honest, but one of the nights I was sleeping in my bed, alone, and I just randomly woken up because you know that sense when you say you're walking down the road and you can sense somebody. I don't know why. There's somebody. You sense somebody staring at the back of your head, and then you sense that they're staring at the back of your head. So you then become conscious of how you walk. So then your walk goes off, and you end up like a drunk madman walking down the road. But yeah, so I had that kind of feeling of being looked at while I was sleeping. So I woke up, and let's say here is the wall, and where my head is, there's an open space. So there's no lights or anything. My curtains are darkened curtains, so no light ever comes through. All the lights are off. And I was laying in bed, felt somebody was staring at me. So I looked up, and all I could, first of all, I could see was, complete darkness, because that's what you see. But as eyes adjusted to being woken up and the moonlight was, shining, because I think it was pretty much sure it was a full moon then, so it was a little bit lighter in here than it normally is. Could see an outline in the dark, so it's a shadow upon a shadow, which is shadow upon darkness, which was really weird. But I could sense somebody staring at me, and there was this darkness, and I just sat there in bed looking at the thing. I was trying to work out if it was my eyes, because obviously I wear glasses, so I didn't have my glasses on at the time. So I put my glasses on, and I was like, That's somebody stood there. I'm sure there's somebody stood there. Now, I didn't turn the light on or anything. I just sat in bed, bolt upright, and I just sat there. Felt like ages, just staring at this black mass in the darkness. And eventually, it just disappeared. I just blinked and then it just disappeared. I did blink several times before that, but this time I blinked and then it was just gone. It kind of threw me off the rest of the night, because I was kind of like, did I see what I thought I seen? It's just a black shadow. To me, an outline of a person. That's what it looked like to me. About 5'8"-ish outline of a person. Now, before, or after, should I say, it was after I found out many weeks later that the previous occupant of where I live actually died in the property. So that was kind of like, oh, That's very spooky and very interesting. But that was after, so it wasn't like it's kind of like a subliminal thing, or whatever you want to call it, where somebody's told me something and I've gone to sleep and then I've woken up with this idea in my head of, oh, the place is haunted. That's just not what happened. I experienced something which didn't freak me out because it doesn't particularly bother me. Me personally, there's got to be paranormal stuff and supernatural stuff. There's always stuff that can't be explained, no matter how many times people try and explain stuff. Everybody's got their own views on stuff, so my view is just some stuff cannot be explained, and there is another side that we can't see, but sometimes we cross, like energy paths or different dimensions, shall we say, just cross over and we catch a glimpse of each other, maybe. It's something like that. But yeah, so that happened, and then it was about 6 or 7 weeks later after that, I was sat in this chair, just doing general admin stuff on the website, typing some stuff up, and it was a really hot day. So the windows were open, and I sat here in a t-shirt, had a cold drink, and I was typing away, and suddenly this arm, which there's windows over that side, and of course these windows here, where the curtains are, all the windows are open, and it was a day with no breeze whatsoever. There was no breeze. It's just hot, stuffy, muggy day, that sort of day where everything sticks to you, and it just sticks in the wrong places that you don't want to even mention. But I was sat here typing away, and then this arm, so the window over there, just all the hairs on this arm just shut up, and it was freezing cold. Bear in mind it was really hot, but all the hairs on his arm just shut up, and when I went to touch it, it was like, it's kind of like a tingly electric feeling. It was like that, and it was very, very weird. And it only lasted a couple of minutes, but then all the hair just went down and dropped off. And I kind of thought, was that maybe the old man? Because obviously, pretty much where I'm sat is where I seen the shadow of the man. So I kind of had this thing of, was that the old man? Just sort of his energy pushing up against me, so that's why my hair is short. That kind of popped in my head, and it's very strange. I couldn't explain it. I mean, if you've got any possible explanations as to what it was, of course, leave me comments down below. But it's kind of weird, and it didn't freak me out. It just, I don't know, I just felt a little odd, because I said it was hot, stuffy. There was no reason for anything to be cold, especially in that where the arm was, but that's what happened. Now, of course, there could be all sorts of explanations. Now, the village that I live in is pretty old. It's one of the oldest villages in Wiltshire in the UK, so there's a lot of stuff that's happened in the area, a couple of battles that's happened, or one big battle, should I say. And of course, there's probably people that died all over the place, but not far from me, you literally would walk out the door and you'd walk, I don't know, probably 50 metres, 100 metres maybe. Once you go out the front door, there's a church and a graveyard next to it. So it could be, stuff passing through, or I don't know, it could be all sorts of explanations. But I just thought it kind of freaked me out. Well, not freaked me out, it just kind of, I don't know what the word is. It was a very strange experience, and I've told a few people, and of course you get the standard, oh, you're being silly, it can't be anything, once you're dead, you're dead, which, yeah, to be honest, once you're dead, you're dead. Not like you could do then. Get the standard thing of, what are you going to do when you die and people don't come to your funeral? Well, I don't mind, because I'll be dead, so I'm not really going to have an opinion on the matter at the time, am I? But it's just interesting that where I am now, there's a lot of stuff happens. I tend to pick up stuff anyway, just see things in the peripheral vision, or you go places and you get like a heaviness on your head or whatever. And I don't get headaches or migraines or that sort of stuff. So whenever I get a big heaviness on my head, it's generally, I tend to think it's something paranormal. I can't see it, but that's just my opinion on it. Could be lots of explanations, but that's my opinion on it. And then there was another time when I went on a ghost walk. I can't remember where it was. It was a ghost walk I went on, and we had a medium there, and she was leading us around this old town, past all these places, and she took us to a church, and everybody had like a crystal, or I can't remember what it's called now, but they crystal on a piece of rope basically dangling out, and you had to hold it. Now a few people had those sort of things. They were walking around, and then she said to the group of us, about 6 or 7 of us, would anybody like to stay here in the churchyard while we all go around and investigate other places? So everybody was sort of like, ooh, sitting in the churchyard on their own. Me, personally, I'm used to being in the dark. Anyway, so I grew up in the countryside, so that sort of stuff doesn't bother me. But so, I'll do it. Then she told me where I had to go. There's a church, and then there was these steps that went underneath the church, which I guess must be like towards underground crypts or something. Then there was a door, big solid oak door with a gap above it, quite a big gap, about 2-3 inches gap above it. So we went down these steps, and then she said, "We'll leave you there, and we'll come back for you in about 10-15 minutes." So they all said bye and walked off, and I was sat there. I was just, cold, stood up against the back of the door, and then I got that feeling of somebody staring at you that you get. Really off-putting, because of course it's the church and it's past midnight, so nobody's going to be in the church at that time. And I was just there, and I could feel somebody staring at me, and then it got even colder, even though it wasn't really that cold. It was getting colder, and then eventually everybody came back, and I went up back up the steps, and then the medium that was hosting the ghost walk asked me if I experienced anything. So I was trying to be coy about what I had experienced, because, well, I'll tell you the rest of it first. So the medium said, "Oh, somebody else will go down there." And somebody, I can't remember. I think it might have been a woman. She went down there as well. Obviously, seeing that I went down there, I evidently didn't feel anything, unbeknownst to her. So she went down there, and she was only there 5 minutes when she came back up and said she couldn't stay down there. And then the medium asked the lady what had happened, and she explained that it felt like somebody was sort of pushing down on her shoulders or on the back of the neck, or that kind of area. And eventually I said told the medium what I'd experienced, because I said, I experienced somebody staring at the back of me, and it was really, really cold and all that kind of thing. Then she ended up telling us that about 1960, somewhere along the line, there was a man who used to go to the church, used to look after the church and take stuff in, like the wine and all that type of thing for the ceremonies and things that they do at churches. And he took the wine, and he went down there on a cold night in the winter, and he was known for liking his alcohol, so he might have been a little bit tipsy at the time, and he actually slipped down the steps, and he broke his neck, and he landed here on the back of his neck, and his shoulders area was landed on the back end of the steps. So there was this theory amongst all of us after we found this out. Of course, the man had died because he broke his neck, but so we had this theory of what I'd experienced and what the lady had experienced was this old man's spirit is just, doesn't lay to rest. It's still there, holding on, probably protecting the church or whatever you want to call it. And he's just sat there or stood there. It's a very weird experience to have this somebody staring at the back of you, and of course the lady saying about the pushing down on her back of her neck and her neck hurting, all leads to us believing it was possibly that man. But those are just a couple of the experiences that have happened over the time. And there's a giant moth just flew in here. It's the size of Mothra. Yeah. Not quite sure how I got in here, but it's huge. But so I kept hearing this dingling in the corner in the side of my ear, and I looked up and I couldn't see anything, so it was kind of weird. And then I seen the like light shade moving, which is kind of weird considering what we're talking about at the moment. And of course, it's just been explained because there's a giant moth flying around in here. But yeah, that's the type of paranormal stuff that I've experienced over the past few years. I mean, there's been other stuff like peripheral vision stuff and things like that. It's a subject that I'm interested in, so I too tend to watch a lot of those ghost programs, ghost adventures, and so many of them. Paranormal Lockdown, I quite like Paranormal Lockdown, that's one I quite like. So there's quite a few of those I watch. There is the occasional one that you watch, think I try it out and you say, nah, this is just silly, just not for me. But be interesting to eventually probably go out and do one of those investigations in a place, because there's a lot of places I sort of walk around and then I think that'd be an interesting place to check out, or do a nighttime type thing to see what's happening. But yeah, I mean, the village that I live in has a few of its own paranormal stories, which I probably relate in later videos, and probably add a bit of footage in if I can get anything. Probably, possibly not, but I will shoot the footage of the areas anyway, and hopefully we can see something from that. But yeah, that was just a few of the paranormal stories I wanted to share with you. If you've got any paranormal stories yourself, leave them in the comments box down below and I will get back to you. Of course, you're based in the UK, let me know some areas, especially if you live in Wiltshire, to let me know of any areas I should possibly check out eventually along the line. Wiltshire, Gloucestershire, that type of area. And yeah, of course, like the video if you liked it. Do you want to see more of this type of stuff? Comment away. Anything paranormal has ever happened to you? Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the notification bell when I put up new videos. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in this video. Bye for now.